All right. Okay. Yes. Can someone recollect what is it that we saw last? We saw something about difference between need, comfort, and luxury, isn't it? Anybody can tell me that? And then Bhargavi wanted to discuss on a home task that we had suggested. So first, need, comfort, and luxury. Can someone tell me the difference? Yes, Reni?
Need is like what you need for basic survival. Comfort is a little more of that, and luxury is just excessive comfort, like I said last time.
It's yeah, but luxury is something which is at times unnecessary, isn't it? Okay. So need is what is actually sometimes if you get what you need, that is sufficient, no? Many times I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, I didn't get this, I didn't get that, I wanted a blue t-shirt, I wanted this colored pant, or I wanted this particular object. Over all of this, we get disappointed because of this continuous craving. We start crying, we feel bad, we feel disturbed. Instead, if we are satisfied, I need a set of clothes which are good, which are clean, which are healthy, and I need to do what I must do, isn't it? A student must learn to play. Yes, yes, Fiona, you want to say something? Please go on.
You have to perform your action without expecting or desiring for something to come as a result.
Yeah, without expectation, isn't it? Without expectation of results, because what happens otherwise? Same thing like in needs, no? When you just have a satisfaction, then what you need is also enough for you to do a lot of things. Sometimes people have, big dining tables, multiple cuisines, everything in the family. They said they have people serving them, and yet this happiness is missing. And then, so yes, I know Bhargavi is going to come to that second point. She is going to take us ahead in discussion today on that second point. We are still looking at once the idea should be clear. Need, comfort, and luxury. When you are getting what you are needing, that is enough if you can feel gratitude then. Because when you are having gratitude, even less can appear more. But otherwise, in comforts, you become a little lazy. In luxury, you get spoiled, isn't it? So that's one thing. Yes, Bhagavi, what is it you wanted to share?
So like we should not do anything to prove our point to anybody, but to like grow and learn from it.
Okay, yeah, I will show this person, I'll show that person. Many times the person you are trying to show is not there afterwards and you don't feel motivated to do anything, isn't it? I am going to show that I'm going to become the best player. One friend told me I'm not going to be able to beat anybody. I will not win. I am going to show. That friend is suddenly says, no, I'm not interested in looking at me. I don't want to see. Then what will happen? If your motivation is only for showing, you will lose your energy, isn't it? You lose your drive. Instead, yeah, Bhagavi, no need to raise your hands, just unmute.
Also, like one more example is like uh, some people try to show others they prepare it for like 10 years, and then after that the person they wanted to show disappeared into thin air. So like they're like, what should I do? Because the only reason I did this is because I wanted to show him. I didn't do it any for any other specific reason, so now it's a waste.
Yeah, so we should never waste our energies in showing to somebody. Instead, does a tree have to show I am a big tree? No, isn't it? The tree grows. And in the shade, so many people get benefit from it. When your actions speak louder than your words, that is actually very important. It is like that. Don't try to prove a point. Somebody says, no, no, you are not like this. No, no, I will show I am like that. Then you get trapped in it, isn't it? In the showing. Instead, your job is to learn, to grow, to become better. So, this one point, remember, never do it to anyone. Even if it's like this thought, if you keep it inside of your head, lifelong, it's going to be useful. Even a lot of senior people, I know of one scientist who wanted to show to others what he has done. He wanted to show his colleagues. So he got an award. But you know what happened? Not a single colleague congratulated him. And he felt so bad. I have got such a big award for my institute. I have got so much in return, all these things he was feeling. But nobody is there. And he was disappointed. Should a person who has received an award be disappointed about the award? No, isn't it? It's not required. You've worked hard, you get that award. Instead, if you get disappointed, it's wasting your energies because he was focusing on something else. So our focus should be our growth, our progression. That is why you should do something, not just to show. Yes, like I said, you have a hand, you have a mouse, or you have the touch screen. You can unmute and ask your question without having to raise your hand. Yes, Bhargavi.
So I had a question like for you told that like there's a point that we shouldn't do anything to prove others. But like if someone is wrong and then we want to prove them in a good way, like this is the correct way.
No, when you
So
are teaching somebody, isn't it? That is when you are teaching someone, isn't it?
but
Then
that's also
the teacher has to show all the students this is the correct way to solve a problem. But that is a part and duty, no? Yes or no? So that's a duty that has to be done. But it is not like teacher just wants to go. Does the teacher who is teaching maths go and teach maths to everybody, even in a coffee shop? Waiter comes and asks, "What do you want?" He says, "First prove this theorem to me." Does the teacher say that? No. Why? Because that's not the place. That's not a duty, no. So that is fine. As a friend, you want to help your friend. But even if your friend wants to learn, you can teach your friend, no? If your friend does not want to learn and you try to teach, will it be of any use? No. Even if you have a good will, you want to say, I want to I know this, I want to help. But that person says, no, I don't like Bhargavi. Whatever she says. If she says sun is in the east, I will say sun rises in the west. If a friend is angry, what will happen? No matter what, even if you speak the truth, even if you try to teach good things and nice things, the person will not listen. So look at your duty and try to follow it. Not just for showing. Never think about it anytime. All right. Yes, Viona.
The same thing happened to me with my friends.
What happened?
They like one girl said something bad about me and she took it extreme and then they like cut the friendship with me and then it was like only for a day. I didn't even know what I did and they just did that to me.
No, that is fine. It happens. No, if you try instead of that, focus on your works. Good friends will come back. No, so you have not done anything wrong. You don't have to worry about it. These are all little experiences we call bittersweet experiences of life. We should have some bitter experience also, isn't it, in life? Otherwise, it's all no. Bhargavi says no. But when you are not well, you are given a medicine which is sweet or better.
bitter.
But bitter only is good, no? Afterwards. So, all right. Then one more last thing before we enter into the chapter. Homework was there. I will not call it homework. Let's call it something else because homework has got a bad name. It gives a lot of memories. So we'll call it home task.
Self-work. Self-work.
Huh? Yeah,
Task.
home task or some. So the task was do something without having any expectation. Just anybody. Did you do anything? Can you share one by one? Yes, please. Danur and Vishwa, both of you are also there. So both of you also think what you can share as an experience doing something. Yeah, okay. Who is Danur is speaking? Yeah.
Vishwa,
Okay,
no,
Vishwa, tell me. Did you do anything? Can you do anything without expectation? Yeah?
no, sir.
No. Okay, then you have not done the homework. Yes, who is likely to share their experience? Okay, so I think Bhargavi's hand went fastest. So first Bhargavi, then Reni. Yeah. Yes, Bhargavi.
I went to my academy And over there, I had one-on-one session because my father is like the best friend of the academy head coach. So I had
Okay.
one-on-one sessions with him, and then in that, just before that, I got hit by a ball. So my father asked me if I wanted to go home, but I'm like no, because I wanted to learn and grow. Just like you said, it's not like you want to. I did not want to be lazy, so I told yes, I want to play. And in the I it was not like when I say I want to play, I will prove to my father that I'm brave and I'm strong. I just wanted
Okay.
to learn. And then like while playing, we were doing drills. In that I played calmly and peacefully with a conditioned mind,
Okay.
without any expectations like my shots should
That's
go
good.
six and all.
Okay. How was your experience then? Conditioned mind. You were not worried about getting out or no? Why not?
Because like I was focused, so
You're
I knew
focused.
nothing would
It does
happen.
not matter. No, some best batsmen also get out on very difficult balls sometimes. It's
Sachin
not in our
Tendulkar.
hand. Yeah, so that's good. All right. Very good. So I think Bhargavi has given 2, 3 points that we can all think of practicing. Not to show I am brave, but because, yeah, it's my, I'm doing it. It's fine. It's all right. That's naturally becoming brave, not for showing somebody who is brave. Yeah, I'm brave or something like that. Because then it becomes a problem. My friend kept on showing off, I'm a very good fighter. And there was a fight between two departments. Everybody recommended him to go in the front in college. Then he had a lot of trouble. He gave his experience. He said, I got beaten up nicely. And then afterward, they took me to the canteen and gave me noodles. So he was not sure whether to be happy or sad. So anyway, that sometimes liabilities happen when you try to unnecessarily show things to people. Yes, Rini, you were adding something.
Yes, so for me, this is like a personal experience.
Okay.
Like, I've always been interested in history, but
Hmm.
I've never put a lot of effort into it. But this year, at the end of after school, after each chapter, our teacher, we get a new teacher every year, like at times. So she tells us to like make a mind map or something like that at the end of class. For the
Okay.
first chapter, I kind of forgot and I didn't know what to do. But then after that, I decided let's make mind maps. And I
Okay.
actually sat down, drew, I mean, traced, but because I don't know how to draw, but I actually
Okay.
sat and I made the most creative mind maps you'll ever find.
Wow. You would like to share them?
I mean, sure, I think I have one.
Yeah. Or maybe in the group afterwards if you don't have immediately.
No, I think I have. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. If you can take photo, it would be very nice to read it.
Yeah,
I
I
would love to
actually
read it.
connected my current hobby, Formula One, and how
Acha.
the British used to administrate India.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow. That's nice.
So
So
yeah,
the
so
expectation part, where did the expectation part come here, Rini? The
no,
expectation.
nowadays I don't do it because I just need the teacher to see it. I just did it because I feel
Ah,
showcase what
okay.
I can actually do.
Okay, so you're not doing it for with an expectation of getting a praise or not. See,
Hmm.
this is very beautiful. Doing it because you like it, because you're doing it.
So, but I would
That's
also like to highlight on the fact that I cannot draw properly. So it took a lot
that's
of time to draw
fine. See
something.
that anybody can take a pen and paper, can draw, and is an artist. My friend who is an artist had told first exercise is take the pen onto the paper and scribble everything as much as you can. I said, what does that mean? He said, that is the first lesson. He said, how do you mean? No, slowly when you start scribbling, you will start understanding the flow of the pen on the paper, where the pressure points are, is the line so straight, and slowly it becomes better. But I think if you're drawing, writing mind maps, definitely I think you are also an artist in your own right. You don't have to say you can't draw. Maybe as you practice, it will become better. So wonderful, Rini. That is a nice experience. And yes, we should not expect sometimes, because teachers are also busy. We don't want to blame teachers. Sometimes teachers don't praise us or don't accept or don't acknowledge. Then what happens? We feel sad. If we are connected with the praise, we'll never do it again, isn't it? That work. But who should grow? Students should grow or not? I'll just give you one small. I told you about my book was read by Dr. Abdul Kalam, isn't it? That poetry book. It was actually a poetry book. And my first poem was written when I was in second class. Then afterwards, I wrote in sixth class when I was in class six. That time, the teacher just asked me one question: Where did you copy it from? I was like, wow, she thinks I've copied it. So I laughed and told, no, ma'am, I have not copied. She thought I was being mischievous and not telling the truth. So she did not trust me. She said she did not publish that in the school magazine. I got so irritated because, I was expecting, she will praise me, or I was expecting she will like what I have written. So I never wrote a poem. And how long did I not write a poem? Till my high school got over. I never wrote a poem again. And I used to think poets have only one work. They have to trouble children by coming in the exam. What is in the mind of the poet? Tell me the reason for the simile. What is all of this? Afterwards, when I met my teacher, Damleji, and then he again reintroduced me, and I got an opening for poetry. Afterwards, again it went. But now it does not matter whether somebody says I'm the best poet or I'm the worst poet. That's an opinion only, isn't it? And there is no best or worst. Poetry is expression, no? So something like that. Yes, Fiona, you want to add something? Let's go on. Yes, please.
I actually don't have anything that much,
You have
but I
exams right now.
mean,
We can have a direct practical exam. Practical. How can you do something without expectation in exam time?
study for the exam without expecting the results.
Without expecting, I have only this much time remaining, I have this much chapter to complete, and what is going to happen? All those questions aside. How much ever time I have is the best blessed time I have got. I'll use the maximum out of it.
Even now, I'm just sitting and revising all the chapters.
Yes, yes. No, but one more thing, Viona, if you want to fully prepare for exam, it's no problem. The session is going to get recorded also. Just giving the option to you. You identify according to your convenience. Okay? Because your duty right now is to do your exam best. Nowhere should that aspect ever be compromised. That you can do it, no? You can ensure that. Then you attend the class. Otherwise, you prepare for the exam. Okay? All right, Bhagavi, yeah, no need to raise your hands. You have a button for unmuting. Press. Yeah.
How are we supposed to give an exam without expecting the results? Because it's an exam.
No, so
Where
you
you
get a
get
difficult question. What will happen when you get a difficult question
will be
without
motivated to
expecting the
solve it.
result? Huh? Huh?
Will get motivated to solve it by
No,
like
you'll get into pressure if you are focusing only on the results. You will get under pressure, Bhargavi. You will not be able to think creatively. And many times you will not get questions which are on your book. Come to college. When you go to college, you may not
sir,
have
it
books
happens
only.
in fifth grade also, sir. Very
It
big
happens
thing.
in fifth grade. Yeah, okay. No,
Not
many
even in
times
the
because,
questions.
yeah, so analytical skills are important. Otherwise, if you start focusing on marks only, your ability to learn the subject also reduces. There was one person in my college. He was an engineer, mechanical engineer. So we had a hydraulics lab. In hydraulics lab, we were looking at certain machines, how water has to flow. And I suddenly asked one question because because machines were so big, we would divide people into groups, three people for each machine. So I asked the question, what does this do? What does this part do? He immediately looked at me as if I'm irritating him so much. But the person who was attender was there, he explained everything and he went. He said, why are you bothered about understanding? I said, why? He said, we need marks. So whatever happens, I have got a previous year's record. Whatever experiment you do, I'm going to just write this number because this number is going to give us correct marks. But I said, we are getting 35.5 reading. No, no, it should be 43. That is what he was telling me. And you know what? I did not listen to him. I said, I'll write down what I see. And turns out the book he copied from was the wrong book because he was just thinking about marks. And you know what happened? All this time he thought about marks. He never learned about engineering at all. The mechanical engineering core values he never learned. He's got a job now. He's doing well. That's a different story. He's probably a dad also. He's doing well right now. But this aspect of his engineering. He missed out because he was only focusing on marks. So in life, we should get marks, but say if you do a sum right, you are going to get good marks or not in maths. As simple as that. But if you understand it and do it, we will get good marks and also understanding as well, no? Many people forget what was in the exam paper after coming out of the exam hall. Yeah, Bhargavi is shaking her head. Yes, it's like geography, I don't know you. You say that to the subject after the exam is over. Because no more, I'm never going to look at this subject again. Yes, Rini, you want to say something?
So it's related to the exam papers. Like I actually just come out of the exam and now I have no idea where I've kept all of them. But
You?
I'm telling you, sir, all the exam papers I have, they're probably rotting away in one deceased corner of my house. But actually, one time we had the physics exam, and then it was from a chapter I absolutely hated. It was heat because we were learning this formula.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I there was this question on how to find this metal is put in this water, find how much the temperature fell. I was
Mm-hmm.
doing it. I got an answer. I was like, okay, let's put it. I
Hmm.
came out the exam hall. People are full discussing what is this answer. They got 23 point something degrees Celsius or 26. I was wondering how on earth I got 971.5 degrees Celsius.
Hmm.
And so it was a three marker. But then later at the end, when we got our exam results, I got 2 out of 3 marks because I got the first part of the question correct.
Okay, you got the first part of it right, isn't it? No, but that's the thing when you learn, no, because see, learning is important. Just getting marks is not important. Because if you don't, if you learn, you know what's going to happen. This, the basic does not change, no? What basics you are learning now in physics, later on you will, if you enter into, you want to become a rocket scientist, isn't it, Reni? You had, or an astronaut, isn't it? You had mentioned, was it you? Reni, you had talked about your ambition as an astronaut, is it?
Space scientist.
Space scientist, yeah, space scientist. So now in space scientist, you're just talking about heat chapter, you're going to deal with lots of equations on heat. There's going to be entropy, there's going to be heat transfer, there's going to be mass transfer, conduction, convection, really so many calculations. But if you learn what you learn right now perfectly, the basic will not change, isn't it? How many of you said 2 plus 2 does not mean 4 because I learnt it when I was in first standard or second standard. 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. When I went to 12th standard, it is not. Anybody says like that? No. Basics remain. So what you learn now, it will be always useful. Right now also I am getting chances to talk with neurologists and all, despite having no connection with biology after school. Why? Because what I learned in school has remained with me. If I had only focused on marks, it would have just gone away. So remember that no subject is a bad subject. Let's continue now. We are entering into a new chapter which is called freedom and self discipline. All right. The venue for today's class was the National University campus, which was known to be one of the best institutes of learning in the city. The enthusiasms of the students gathered in the lawn of the university was very contagious. And after the students settled, the teacher began his lesson. Anybody has gone to a university? Yeah. So big
No,
buildings.
sir.
No, Bhargavi says no. Reni and Viona says yes. All right. What about you, Dhanur and Vishwa? Have you gone to a university?
I cannot understand.
Have you gone to any university?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Where? Okay, this I think I've lost him. Let's continue. So all are excited because big building, so many college students all sitting, studying. There are big lawns. Some are sitting on the lawn and also reading. The teacher immediately asks, children, I have brought you here today for a specific reason. This university is a place where knowledge is gained. The university teaches everybody, catering to each individual, irrespective of the person's status, caste, creed, or religion. That is how knowledge is also, isn't it? Knowledge is for everybody. It does not mean that it should go for this person and not for the other person. Let's continue. Today, the world has become so small and divided by so many lines. One has to go beyond these petty thoughts and beliefs and think beyond compartments and think of the world at large. Because small minded people, what do they say? This person is mine, that person is not mine, this is like this, that is like that. But wide minded, broad minded people, what do they say? They say this world is one family. Have you heard of that phrase? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam? Yes, this world is one family. These universities are recognized by other countries. Students come to the universities from across the world, and also many students go abroad in other such universities to learn. This is a story about any university you see, isn't it? So many people come. Some people come from abroad, some go abroad to study. Why? For learning, for growing. One has to develop oneself into a universal personality and become global, rising. Why is it important to become global? Because that's the only way you will grow, isn't it? I think Rennie is going to take one more step, becoming universal, isn't it? Beyond the globe also. So that is how we should all try to be, because that is when we grow better. We have to stretch ourselves as much as we can. Rising beyond personal identification, one must become a global student and a global personality. But to achieve all of this, it is required to lead a disciplined life. How many of you like the word discipline? No hands up. How many of you like discipline? Okay, that's what the teacher asks the students. Immediately, student one says, Sir, I do not like it. Yes, everyone at home or school asks us to follow some discipline all the time. How many of us feel, "Oh, rules, 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 so many rules, enough of this." I go, my friends also now asking me rules. Mother is saying rule. I can't sit quietly in my house. I can't sit in class also quietly. That's the same thing. See, Bhargavi is very animatedly supporting this student's point of view. Let us see. But the student too says, he also says, I too feel the same. I want to live as I feel. I want freedom and to enjoy the freedom. Yeah, everybody. You know, once a bunch of college students in a very famous college, they came on a strike saying, Hame chahiye azadi. I want azadi. What is azadi from college? Azadi from exams would be something students will all want, no? But
Doesn't
yeah,
that
Viana.
mean freedom?
What?
Doesn't that mean freedom?
Yeah, Azadi means freedom, but they say we wanted freedom from exams, we want freedom from all of these. It's not really possible, isn't it? So this is a different meaning. For students, it is like I want freedom from all of these rules. Yeah, Rini, you want to say something? Yes.
Yes, sir. So recently, as in by recently, I mean yesterday, our school took my grade for to a field trip to this place near Nandi Hills called Vama Retreat.
Okay.
Okay, it was a really well, like the bus ride was really fun. But when we
Hmm.
reached there, we were like kind of stunned because everyone's like wearing military wear. So you're like, oh
Okay.
god, if you breathe the wrong way, you'll have to do 20 push-ups. But we can't do
If
one.
you, if
Breathe the
you,
wrong way.
okay.
So
No,
we had
military in the sense everybody was wearing uniform. I didn't understand. It was the armed
like
forces,
everyone was they were at least in military before or like ex-military people.
ex-military people. Okay.
And this resort was opened by a colonel, I forgot his name, sorry. But we went there and we had to like follow instructions to like we have to follow him really hard, like
Oh,
full
it was
on.
having a theme, military themed resort where you have to now
It
follow.
was military, like there were obstacle courses, they had actual like
Acha.
German shepherds trained, everything.
Hmm.
And we also learned how to shoot over there. But first things
Okay.
first, we had to like maintain discipline.
Hmm. Wow. That's pretty cool. So, Bhargavi is saying lucky you, but I don't know if Bhargavi was made to do push-ups, she would say the same thing. We do not know how many
But
I
we
push-ups
won't
didn't do
till
even
now.
push-ups. We didn't do push-ups.
I
You
won't
didn't
even
do.
break the rules. Simple thing.
Ah, all right. So, yes, the teacher immediately says, I am talking about self-discipline first. You have to study, play, eat, and do exercise as your duty towards yourself, isn't it? Studying, playing, eating, exercising. Are we doing this because there's a rule? Is there a rule for you to eat? No. Body only tells, no. Stomach says, oh, something needed. Now I'm feeling empty. And then you also start getting irritated and cranky, isn't it? On an empty stomach. So then naturally you start eating. These are not because some rules are imposed on you. So this is something we must understand that this is duty towards yourself, not for somebody else. Or are you going to perform all this only after being told to do so by your parents or teachers? Study, eat, play, exercise. No, we don't need that. No, only because I'm told I will do it. We are lucky sometimes where our parents keep reminding us or our teachers keep telling us with a loving manner. But that's not the case. It's not for others. It's for yourself, isn't it? You have to be strong physically. Why? Well, you are going to carry yourself throughout your life. You will have to be strong physically. Same way, mentally also you'll have to be powerful. Emotionally also. The food that you eat will have to be healthy. You'll also have to have fun. You'll have to grow. So all these are not duties given by police has come and they have forced me. No. Or government has sent an order. I have to get good sleep. It's not government's order. It is your own order given by yourself under what we call self-discipline, isn't it? This is not a discipline that is imposed by somebody. It is self-discipline. That's different. He says, no, the teacher continues. He says, no, you do it on your own. Why? Because it is clear that if you do not maintain discipline in all these four, you will go astray. If somebody focuses on only one activity, like eating, sleeping, studying, or exercising the whole day, then one may lose the chance of maintaining a balance of all these needs and will simply go astray. So, what is this? This self discipline must come from us only, no? If you don't, what will happen? You'll go astray. Discipline is not always imposed upon by others. We only have to develop it ourselves. This is the proper way to grow our personality. When I was running, I didn't like running at all, but my badminton coach would make me, you have to run. He would say 4 rounds, then only you enter the ground. It was very irritating. Then slowly it started, and then it would go to 10 rounds also some days as endurance exercises. Afterwards, because self-discipline developed, it did not make a difference. And the funniest part or the best part was in my high school, where my friend said, no, our house is going to have very difficult championship from points are less little bit. We have to try to get all of these points. We need help. So different, all of us were discussing. That time I had not got chance because of my board exams. I was busy preparing. But during my preparation also, I did not turn off the opportunity of going for a jog to concentrate better. And it really made a lot of difference. Not only did I win the house championship, I got a chance to play for the first time for the my school in a state level event as well. So that was a great experience. But how did it come? It came naturally because of self-discipline, not because somebody was telling me you must do it. So I think we all can decide that or not. Should we do things just because people are telling? No. It becomes boring, no? When somebody tells you to do it. But when you tell yourself, it's not boring. You like it. Hey, I'm choosing it freely. Don't tell me to do it. I'm doing it on my own. That becomes fun also. So that is how we must do. One research had been done on the best pianists in the world, top There's something top 1% pianists in the world, no? Research scientists went and tried to analyze how did they become best. Because so several years they've been performing, practicing with great discipline. You know what they identified? What was the difference between number one, number two, number three? Does the piano change? No. What changes?
The person playing it.
The person playing it changes, and also the skill
Self
of the person.
self discipline.
Yeah, that's a good point. Bhargavi is actually talking about self-discipline of the people, no? Because after a while, there are only n number of ways you can move your hands because we have only 10 fingers, no? They can move in this many ways, and this is the board. So after several hours of practice, everybody become very skillful. So in the top level, everybody is competitive. Everybody is good. But you know what was separating number one from number two from number three from number four? It was the number of hours they had put into practice. The number one had put so many hours into practice compared to number two. So what is it showing? It's showing that with self-discipline, you can become the best. You don't have to wait for someone. Let's continue. The question goes on. As far as your question of freedom, you want freedom, isn't it? How many of us want freedom? Yeah, I want to be free. Many songs are there. I want to be free. That's all. That is just the lyrics, common lyrics. This was when I was also in school. That time I was very troubled with exams. So I used to relate the song of freedom. That freedom song by the singer was for some other context. But for me, it very much connected with the exams. Enough of all of this. I want free. But that person was talking about freedom for his country in the song. But this has a different meaning. So freedom has different meaning. So here the teacher asks, as far as the question of freedom, you want freedom, isn't it? Can I ask you, what do you want freedom from? First, you need to get freedom from ignorance, of not knowing. And instead of being like birds that are aimlessly flapping, having vitamin B1 deficiency, try to understand the real meaning of freedom. Anybody has seen a poultry farm? If not in real life, in TV or somewhere?
What?
Poultry farm, poultry farm.
Yes.
What have you seen? What is there?
There are chickens
Huh?
everywhere. There are
There are?
chickens everywhere.
Yeah, okay. There is one deficiency of vitamin B1. When that happens, no? What do these birds do, you know? They start flapping and going around in circles aimlessly. So what is this? Is this using the freedom properly or it is misuse of freedom?
Miss you.
So, yeah, there has to be an aim also, isn't it? The direction must be there, and that is exactly what the teacher is asking. What freedom you need is freedom from ignorance. Freedom from ignorance is the most important thing. Freedom from the weakness of ignorance includes knowing about keeping our body healthy and our mind sound by understanding about the facts within and around us. You may like freedom, you seek for enjoyment, but ultimately it will not create anything new. But instead, your real productivity will be reduced to zero. Bhagavi is not liking it. Anybody else is also not liking it. Well, my friend told me, come, let's go in college. I had got a new bike. So he's like, we'll go for a. He said, please, roadside tea kade. We will go and have tea. I was like, no. He said, no, no, no. Just sometime. It doesn't make a difference. And I, like a stupid person, agreed. So I went. And that was the first time and only time I failed in life. Because this person, instead of taking me to the nearby shop, he took me driving 4 kilometers away. And instead of 15 minutes break, it became a 1.5 hours break, 2 hours break. And my book, by then another friend came and took my book and went. In college times, we had shortage of books also because nobody would keep their books properly. So this is what happens. So what should you do? That was freedom or no? I utilized my freedom, no, my free will, but I utilized it wrongly. And what happened because of that? A very memorable experience, unforgettable experience for me. Nobody likes failing, no? So that
What
was
did you do after that?
what I came home. My father asked, normally he doesn't ask, but he saw my face was different. He asked me what marks you are going to get. Because always I would get good marks. I just looked at him, I said, I'm going to fail. My other relatives were also present. He was also shocked I'm saying this in front of relatives. One relative came and tried to console me. He said, no, 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 you will not. I said, I know what I've written. I'm going to. And that's what happened. Because I had wasted my freedom.
So
I
you
had
seriously
that
failed.
freedom. Yeah,
You seriously failed.
that's in college. Yes, but in college you have a second option. In next semester you can write that paper. And when I wrote it, I got 10 on 10. Favorite paper, thermodynamics only. Heat and mass transfer. I was telling you the example because even now I don't forget it, even after 13 years. But all of this, was it worth it? No, it was a misuse of freedom. That misuse of freedom led to wrong consequences. So that's why we should have freedom from weakness, of ignorance, should know what should you do for what is good for you. And that is otherwise, if we just run after enjoyment. Is having a coffee or tea before exam so important? No, isn't it? That was a silly thing to do. Because in that enjoyment, productivity became zero, just like my marks. So that is something we should not ever try. Let's continue. The student says, do we have to follow this all the times? Or we can follow it when we feel like? The teacher replies, the answer is the same. If we live satisfied with our weakness and ignorance, we end up suffering. This is the truth, no? Ignorance is bliss. Has anybody heard of that phrase? No. Anybody has heard of it? No. Good. Maybe afterwards people say that in college. Ignorance is bliss. So it's okay. I'm happy being ignorant. But will we be happy if our doctor is ignorant? Oops, I operated on wrong kidney. Will we say it's okay? No. If our security guard starts sleeping, oops, I just fell asleep yesterday. But yesterday only thief entered. Yeah, but only little bit I went to sleep. Do we agree? Do we like it? Why don't we like it? Because it has bad consequences. It is just like that. We cannot live satisfied with our weakness and ignorance because we end up suffering. Is it not an advantage to know your shortcomings when they are told to you? Isn't getting free from your weakness the real freedom? Wouldn't you want to be free always? Somebody who is cranky and getting angry all the time. What is freedom for that person? Freedom from anger only, no? If that person learns to control anger, then that person is free. Otherwise, the anger sits on the head, controls the person completely. A lot of people say so many things harshly in a state of anger and then regret what they said. But what is the use regretting? It is only adding suffering now. Best thing would be to not do that wrong thing, no? So that is what freedom is required. Let's continue. Student says, yes, sir, now it's clear. But what if discipline is imposed upon us? The teacher replies, true, some sort of discipline is imposed upon us. Yes or no? In school also, everything is self-discipline or some of discipline is imposed on us, no? We have to follow like this. We have to wear this uniform. Why should I wear this uniform? Look at all those movies. They show people are so cool and not wearing uniforms in school. And this was a very common dialogue. But what is the need for a uniform in school? Anybody? Yeah, please tell me. Anybody? Feel free to unmute and tell me.
If you wear different clothes, there'll be a distraction. Like everybody will start saying that your dress is nice, but then they'll end up losing focus.
Then, okay, that is one point Bhargavi has said. Anything else Vinny would like to add?
Yes, there's a lack of unity and oneness.
Yeah, because somebody who will start wearing only costly clothes, another person will not be able to afford costly clothes. Other
So
person will
another
try to
thing I
show.
would like to add to my own point is that you also lose your sense of identity. Sometimes people just look at your uniform and be like, "Oh, you're from that school." If you just don't wear your school, you're not no way of being recognized, or your school wouldn't have anything.
Yeah, so the school, is it a good or bad thing? I didn't understand your point. You were
I mean,
saying?
it's bad because you actually like the school's identity lies within the uniform, like what the school
Okay.
is, and people I
Yeah.
recognize the school because of that. So if you're not wearing it, people wouldn't know, the school wouldn't be recognized. Nothing like that would happen. So yes.
Yes, yes. And one more thing, it's like your school has, if you see, even in military regiments, each of them have their own separate slogan also. Because why? Why is this discipline required? It is for them to become a cohesive team, isn't it? And in school also, when you are learning, learning is equal for all, no? The aspect of learning, can it be this person is from this home, so he should receive more wisdom? This person is from this home, he should receive less wisdom. Can anybody even decide like that? It sounds ridiculous, isn't it? So, this aspect of uniformity is for bringing that oneness only. So, some of the rules are imposed upon us. Sometimes we don't like it, but they also have a purpose that we should try to identify. If we can identify that, then it's going to be fun. Because when I was in school, I would find uniform boring. When I went to college, we didn't have any uniform at all. You can wear absolutely anything that you want. But then afterwards, we started missing a school uniform so much. Because now we are like ordinary people anywhere out inside of the college also. In school, we used to say, "Hey, we are from the same school. We could go bump fists and all happily. We are from this place." But afterwards, it's just like you're anywhere. Outside also, you don't have that connection. True, some sort of discipline is imposed upon us, but one should take it by choice for his or her growth and not as an imposition. Because you see, a system has been created, no, for us to grow. Yes or no? If you look at it, one side you will say, oh no, what is this? All everywhere rules are there. But if you look at the spirit of the rule, what is the reason? Why do you have to go from start class 1 to class 12? Like gradation of knowledge is also there. As you grow, your brain is also, processing newer things. Morphological changes are also taking place. You are also experiencing, you are also growing. And if you utilize the system, you will not be frustrated. You'll try to understand and keep growing because that is the aspect. Ask any champion of wrestling, athletics, singing, drama, military commandos, like what Renee was talking about, or research scholars, and they will tell you their personal stories of how, when they were under training of their masters, discipline was imposed upon them. You see champions also they say, no, this was not allowed only for me. Initially, that was like a imposition. Sports persons bear unimaginable physical pressure. Singers spend hours practicing day and night. Same is the case with those in the fields of dance and drama too. Continuously, even in the field of drama, how many experiments? My friend, he was a street artist. Now he is releasing his movie. But how many years? How many years he had to function, work hard. He actually even studied, became a doctor, and then became an actor after that, following his inner calling. But you see the experiments he had to do with discipline regularly, again and again and again. So somewhere or the other, imposition is there. Yes, Bhagavi, what is it?
Like there's a point in which that imposition is done on us only because it helps us grow. Like in the drama field, if you're not made to practice, you might forget what you have to say in the performance, and then it'll be bad for you. So like if you practice, because I was doing a skit once, twice actually. So it was half semester. So in the first half semester, I practiced very less because I was too lazy. I was small, I was lazy. That's why I just remembered it in 1 hour and then left it. It got all mixed up, and then I mixed up 3 lines into one whole line. So like that happened, and then after that, the second semester, also I was doing skit because I wanted to improve. I wanted to like fill that wound that happened to me in the field of skit.
Okay.
So like in the second semester skit that I was doing, I practiced so
Okay.
much that I in fact got the lead performance, even though
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
bad in the first semester.
No, that's something that discipline has to come. Discipline has to come. It is important. And all of them. Yes, Rennie, you want to say something? Yeah, please go on.
Yes, sir. So something similar happened to me. Like one time, I was selected for to take part in a performance, but it was like a very big performance, and I knew the dance, but it was very tiring because it's like a 10-minute dance. So I practiced with all the people every day, like we got on calls and we practiced. But in the midway bit between, I had actually gotten sick, so I couldn't practice much after that. So on the day of the performance, there's this one part where you have to like go in a circle backwards. I completely messed up the timing, and then the rest of the performance is just blurred because it was ridiculous. After that, I decided I've practiced this dance so much, I won't do this ever again.
Yeah.
Who am I kidding, sir? The same week, my dance teacher from my school had a performance, and she
Okay.
told all of us to perform there. I did the same dance there, but this time I did it much better.
So wonderful. Absolutely. They say practice makes perfect, isn't it? My backhand was weak, so I kept practicing backhand again and again in badminton. And later on, that became my most favorite strong point. I used to wait for opponents to put it that side. They would think this is the weak area, but that was became my stronger area afterwards. So we can always turn. And if you look at the stories of big champions, no, that is how they do by practice, 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 and self-discipline. They all accepted the discipline happily. You can underline happily because that is the most important thing. For it was necessary for their growth. When you understand it's for your growth, it's going to help you become better. Then, no pain, no gain, isn't it? We're going to ready that way. If they would have asked for freedom as per their will or whims, they would not have achieved this much progress in their lives. That's so true, isn't it? You take away the difficulty, it becomes a big problem. The student, sir, explain in short for me. This discipline sounds horrible to me. The teacher says, see, maintain self discipline first, remain fit, and accept the extra discipline by teachers and masters happily and not as an imposition, but as a requirement. This is important. Understand it as a requirement. I had made friends with one Didi who was a great poetess. I wanted to learn from her. She gave me homework suddenly. I was like, I'm now not in school also. Why am I getting homework? I said, this is the image. So she shared one image of somebody waving towards an aeroplane which is departing. He said, I'm going to ask you to write 9 different poems for the same image in 9 different rasas. I was like, means there's humor also, there's fear also, there's navarasa, they say, no? I was like, what a big headache. Why is she given this to me? Why? I didn't sign up for any course, but I understood it's a requirement because this is somebody who is good and who's going to stretch me, who's going to make me little better in my thinking. And that did help afterwards. It was fun. I made a humorous poem also out of it, made a scary poem also, an angry poem also, a sad poem also from the same thing. But that helped in understanding the thinking, no? Understanding my way of thinking, my expression, something like that. All of you must remember discipline should come naturally, self discipline. And when it comes from a teacher or a master, you recognize, accept it happily. Don't only accept, even celebrate it. Enjoy it, no problem. Let's see, it's all right. Then it will help you grow because recognize it as a requirement. Student, now I understand it. But is it necessary to do certain tasks every day at the same time with regularity?
Same
The
question.
same question. Bhargavi's questions only are there in this book. 3, 4 times it has happened like that. All right. Teacher says, see, regularity always pays. It helps our body and mind to get channelized and give us the best output. You have heard the phrase, a strong mind in a strong body. By this discipline, our tolerance increases and our physical, mental, and emotional capacities also increase. So, what is the need for doing it? Regularity pays. It helps our body and mind to get channelized. There's something called cell memory also. No, it's always good to ask questions. There's something called cell memory. I'm also asking questions, isn't it? Do you know what cell memory is? Well, your body also has a memory of its own. I know of a dancer, my own friend, she is a dance teacher. So, due to some commitments and some projects, she was not able to dance for many months. And suddenly, a sudden moment came where she had to dance. And she said, because of so many years of practice, the body was actually like moving on autopilot. She said, yes, after this step, the next step, the next step, it all came naturally. So, this is something what discipline does. It channels your mind as well as your body, it conditions it. That's why discipline is required. If all the sportsmen, artists, doctors, executives, teachers, military commanders, okay, I think I missed out a point. By this discipline, our tolerance increases and our physical, mental, and emotional capacities also increase. So, what are the three capacities that will increase with discipline? Anybody?
Mental, physical, and emotional.
Yes, mental, physical, and emotional. We have to improve all of these. We can't say, oh, I am enough, I'm strong. No, strength is going to keep growing if you work harder. Mental strength also, emotional also. Why is emotional strength necessary? Anybody?
So that you aren't like distracted by emotions and you can focus on your work.
Yeah, because suddenly this most smart person, he gets disturbed. Then smartness goes on vacation, no, when the person is disturbed. Yes or no? A very calm person, peaceful person, great presence of mind suddenly starts behaving absent-mindedly. Why? Because emotionally disturbed. So, mental strength, emotional strength, physical strength, all this. Who should control our feelings? Can anybody else control our feelings? No. We can't give the remote to somebody else, no? Okay, become happy. I press the button. Now increasing volume, so I'll irritate you a little bit more. Your volume will increase. Somebody else should do that? No. So that is exactly important. If all the sportsmen, artists, doctors, executives, teachers, military commanders do not follow any discipline, will you accept them? Teacher does not follow discipline, does not teach in class only. Will you accept such a teacher? Not at all. Army person is not at all following discipline, allowing infiltration to take place. What is the use? Doctor does not follow discipline. He doesn't come on time to the operation theater only. What's the use? So we won't accept it anywhere, isn't it? So same thing like we don't accept for others, we should also follow for ourselves. Same way, nobody will entertain an undisciplined person. Lastly, observe the nature around you. The sun rises in the morning and moon in the evening. The winds flow all day. And just as we work according to discipline, nature too follows a discipline. Yes or no? Agreed or not? Vishwa and Dhanur. Nature also has a discipline, yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
absolutely. So this is the important thing. At least first become an ordinary human being to grow into an extraordinary universal personality. So what you should recognize? It's all right. Because everybody starts thinking extraordinary, I am extraordinary. Can you become extraordinary by thinking you're extraordinary? No. You become extraordinary when you do ordinary acts perfectly with discipline. Yes or no? Extraordinary artist, extraordinary player, extraordinary singer? Are they all just suddenly falling, or are they all aliens coming from a spaceship? No, by discipline and practice. That is something. So we'll look at 3 points, remember? If you have another 5 minutes, we can look at one small story. Yes? Anybody has work? Or okay. Points to remember. 3 points. One, discipline is not imposed if you develop a self-discipline for your own development. Okay? For your own development, if you get a discipline, you follow self-discipline, is it imposition? Not at all. You're going to accept it as a requirement. It may be hard, it may be difficult, it may be tiring, but you are ready to face all of it because you recognize it is going to help you improve. Number two, prepare for real freedom from weakness and ignorance. Did India get independence just like that? They had to work hard, no? Like that, if we really want to be free and happy in life, will we get it just like that? Oh, I went for a lottery, got freedom. No, no. Freedom is going to be earned, and for that, you have to prepare. If you want to live a happy and free life, how will you prepare? Well, you have to start doing discipline, physical, mental, emotional. Because what is the real freedom? Freedom from weakness, freedom from ignorance. These are two things. Then number three, learn discipline by observing nature. Look at the sun. Look at when what happens in the morning. Everywhere, discipline only, no? The sun rises, then the birds begin chirping, flowers begin blossoming, everywhere activities start. So everybody is following discipline. So we should also follow that. Just one small story, we'll finish it quickly. There was a botanist, a very young botanist who was just learning. Who is a botanist? Anybody?
A flower person.
A flower person. Okay, that's in one way of putting it. Anybody else who is a botanist?
A person who like researches and does stuff with plants in
Yes, any study with plants, even if the plant does not have flower and it's just cactus. But cactus also gets flowers that way. But anyway, so a botanist, a young botanist, he was going in the garden. He saw a pupa. Anybody knows what a pupa is? Life cycle of butterfly. Everybody must have drawn those diagrams. Yes. Has anybody seen a pupa in real life? No. Nowadays we are having lesser plants, no? So it is that opportunity is not there. But maybe somebody can try in your home also. If you find a caterpillar, you can grow them inside of a container. It becomes beautiful and then transforms into a butterfly. That stage after from pupa, it becomes a butterfly. It's a very special one. When we were young, we would actually, it was so easily next to trees, we would find them and we would wait for that. So this botanist just watched, and you know what happened that time? He just saw it was the right moment because that butterfly was coming out of the pupa. It was just struggling. It was a very special moment, no? Watching that happen. But he saw that the butterfly was struggling so much. What did the botanist think? The botanist was not experienced botanist, young person. They said, "Oh, see, Lord, so much efforts that butterfly is taking." So what does he do? He says, "Let me help the butterfly," and so he slightly tears open the pupa so that the butterfly can come out easily. So the butterfly comes out of that pupa. But you know what happens? The butterfly cannot fly. Why? Because that struggle, no, inside of the pupa. That struggle is what gives the strength to the butterfly. This young botanist did not know. He just saw the bad side of the struggle, no? Like we have maths problems, we say, hey Bhagwan, what is this maths problems? Oh no. But it's like that. So difficult moments also are preparing us, making us stronger, just like that butterfly. The young botanist did not know that. And that is why that mistake happened. So let us all remember discipline is important. But let us develop self-discipline. Nobody should impose on us, but we can only ourselves follow it or not. Yes or no? So with this, we conclude today. Let's close our eyes for 2 minutes and then try to manifest fire. Okay. Okay, before opening eyes now. All right then. So we'll have a session tomorrow also because we missed out on yesterday's session due to electrical issue. So tomorrow we will continue. All right. So all the best for
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Viona's exam and Rini also, and all
Thank
of you. Best wishes. All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
See you, Vishwa and Dhanur.